I'm a Ghanaian. I'm a Ghanaian. First of all, what makes you a Ghanaian? That's one of the questions we're going to be trying to answer. And when we're able to answer that, or however we try, I'd like to ask you: do you think Ghana is worth dying for? Let that sink in. Is Ghana worth dying for? Would you lay down your life for this nation? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association has announced a complete withdrawal of its services across the country. Incidentally, I have a very close acquaintance whose relative saw the brunt of that strike yesterday when they had to go to the hospital. We're going to be learning how this is impacting lives across the country and what is needed to bring a complete resolution to that strike and impasse between the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association and the state. Now, you recall our conversation with Dr. Rivers Singopong, who is the CEO of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, that there wasn't any stakeholder engagement. Well, we cited a letter where they say, you know what, we can't implement this levy. And they cited a letter being written to them on Friday, delivered on Sunday. On a public holiday, the letter was authored. On a weekend, on Sunday, the letter was delivered, requesting and pretty much saying, why don't you get this started right on Monday? It's a brand new day. Let's get into some music this morning. Sinach reminds us who we are. And sometimes some news can break your heart, and then when you get confirmation that is not true, your soul breathes and smiles. That's how I feel right now, but I Know Who I Am by Sinach is kicking us off this morning on the Asaase Breakfast Show. Welcome, one and all. It's a brand new day. Let's make it wonderful. living a life of favor. And I do know who I am. I am God's child, and I am a proud Ghanaian. Are you a Ghanaian? What makes you a Ghanaian? Are you proud? Oh boy. And so that brings us straight into our positive mental attitude here on the Asaase Breakfast Show. And I'm going to talk to you about how we rise. Yes, indeed. From behind, we rise. This is just a story inspired by Coco Gauff and Carlos Alcaraz's wins over the weekend. You see, champions of the everyday grind, dreamers who refuse to give up. This is for you, those of you who don't want to stop because you came to an obstacle. See, at Roland Garros, the French Open, under the very bright clay sun and the pressure of a world watching, not just in the arena, but on television screens around the globe, Carlos Alcaraz and Coco Gauff reminded us of something very powerful. It's not about how you start. It's about how you fight back. They were down. They were doubted by their ardent followers and great fans. They were pushed to the edge. But here's the thing about true greatness. See, it doesn't show up only when the score is in your favor. It shows up when you stand with your back against the wall, when the crowd is quiet, and when even your own belief is shaken. Carlos Alcaraz found himself outplayed, outpaced for a moment, but champions don't ask for the moment to be easy. They make the moment theirs. 1 point at a time, one swing, one roar, until the tide turned, and the crowd rose not for a winner, but for a warrior. Coco Gauff, still only 20, found herself trailing, but she looked inside and found the fire of someone far older than her years. She did not flinch at all. She fought, she turned fear into fuel and pressure into power. See, in doing so, she's reminded us, and every girl watching her, that you don't need permission to be great. You just need purpose. Their victories aren't just about tennis. They're about life. Because we all have had moments like that, where we were behind on our dreams, on hope, on time. And yet, like Coco and Carlos, you still have a choice to dig deep, a choice to stay in the fight, a choice to believe, even when the scoreboard doesn't. So let this be your rallying cry. Comebacks start courage. Champions are made in chaos. Go forward, make rain.
The ABS Asaase Breakfast Show.
It's 6 o'clock. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Asaase Breakfast News on Asaase 99.5 Accra. I'm Clangsine Champon. The news is also live on Asaase 98.5 in Kumasi, Asaase 99.7 in Tamale, Asaase 100.3 in Cape Coast, and our affiliates across Ghana. You can also tune in on our Facebook live stream at Asaase 99.5, on X at Asaase Radio 995, or by using the Asaase app. Coming up,
National Council of My Dear Association has decided that we are continuing the strike on Monday. Full withdrawal of all services. That is what we are doing for Monday.
Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association turns up the heat on its ongoing strike. Also in this bulletin, oil marketing companies request 2 weeks more for the implementation of the 1 cedi fuel levy. In African news, Zimbabwe to slaughter 50 elephants and distribute meats to locals. And elsewhere, police order protesters to leave downtown Los Angeles as raid unrest continues into night. Thanks for choosing us this morning. The details now. Starting today, Ghanaians are expected to pay 1 cedi per litre on petroleum products, according to a new directive from the Ghana Revenue Authority following the revised Energy Sector Levies Act 2025. The move, outlined in the Tariff Implementation Order, is aimed at raising revenue to clear energy sector debts and stabilize power supply. The levy affects products like petrol, diesel, marine gas, and heavy fuel oil. But there's a pushback. The Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies says its members can't implement the new prices just yet. They want at least 2 weeks to roll it out effectively. My colleague Elizabeth Yaboa is in the studio with more from the Chamber's statement. Elizabeth, what else are they saying?
And I have a statement from the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, and it's addressed to the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority. And it says, we write to register our utmost dismay and strong objection to the letter received from your office this morning. That's on Sunday. The letter demands implementation of the new energy sector shortfall and debt repayments levy effective today, the 9th of June 2025. Let us state the facts plainly. This approach is neither lawful nor operationally feasible. It smacks of coercion rather than governance and depicts a military regime. Issuing a backdated directive on a holiday and serving it on a weekend for next day compliance borders on institutional ambush. The chamber leadership met with the Minister for Energy and Green Transition to discuss the levy and tabled 3 practical and necessary demands to mitigate the impact. So the COMAC has already made their position clear in their press release on the 4th of June. The downstream sector is burdened with 8 separate taxes and levies, cumulatively representing 22% of the ex-pump price. So the increment pushes this to 26%, threatening industry survival, competitiveness, and consumer welfare. And the abrupt implementation denies their members the lead time needed to adjust systems, prices, and inventory. We therefore wish to state unequivocally, COMAC and its members cannot and will not begin implementation of this levy from today, that's the 9th of June. We request a minimum of 2 weeks transition period with a new implementation date of the 16th of June to allow industry players to align with this major fiscal change. This must not be reduced to a technocratic rush to impress. They are saying they are industry stakeholders and not bystanders, and they deserve better than Rambo-style directives in the middle of a weekend. And this statement is signed by the CEO and industry coordinator of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, Dr. Riverson Opon.
Many thanks, Elizabeth, for bringing us those details from the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. Now, away from that, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association is set to escalate its ongoing strike by withdrawing all nursing and midwifery services across public health facilities nationwide today. This move marks the next phase of the association's industrial action, which began earlier in protest over unresolved grievances. Despite the National Labour Commission declaring the strike illegal and securing an interlocutory injunction from the High Court to halt the action, the association insists the strike remains in force. According to the Kolebu District Chairperson of the association, Prosper Kobi, members have not yet been served with any court order and therefore have no legal grounds to suspend the strike.
We as association, we have not been served, and to the best of my knowledge, National Council of My Dear Association has decided that we are continuing the strike on Monday. full withdrawal of all services. That is what we are doing from Monday. For us in Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, we have deemed it necessary to take this action at this time, and we are going by that. Interestingly, our members are adhering to this roadmap, and so I am sure that those who will be opposed are the other union members.
You heard Prosper Bobby, and he is the Kolebu District Chairperson of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Now, former Member of Parliament for Asin Central NPP flag bearer hopeful Kennedy Ohene Japan says the party must not reward poor electoral performance with another shot at leadership. Speaking in Mampon during a visit to mourn the late Mampon Hene, Japan stressed that the NPP's tradition is about competence and results, not sentiments. His comments come amid internal debates about the party's direction following its 2024 election performance under Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
It is also a big performance. Now to be lose over 2 million. Now I say better to say Mufani Panenko. Now my edi, but Emrani do one no credit yabaka mate. No kura no deɛ yɛbɛka mo mate sɛ mo pɛ power Ghanafoɔ se mo de kana Japan ba yɛbɛto ama mo.
That was the former MP for Asin Central and NPP flag bearer hopeful Kennedy Ohene Japan. In African news, faced with mountain pressure on natural resources, Zimbabwe is set to slaughter 50 elephants at the overcrowded Save Valley Conservancy, where the elephants' population has grown to more than 3 times the sustainable level. Authorities say there are plans to distribute the meat to local communities as part of the wildlife management effort. Elsewhere, protests have flared up again in Los Angeles as demonstrators against immigration raids face off with law enforcement for a third day. National Guard units deployed by President Donald Trump used tear gas to force back protesters. Protesters gathered in downtown LA have been told to leave immediately by police hours after officers dispersed demonstrators blocking a major freeway in the city. And that's how we wrap up this morning's edition of the Asaase Breakfast News. A recap of our headlines. Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association turns up the heat on its ongoing strike. And in African news, Zimbabwe to slaughter 50 elephants and distribute meat to locals. My name is Clankson Echampon. For more news, visit asaseradio.com. Stay tuned for more.
Hey, of course. You know we have been friends since childhood, and we always tell each other everything.
Oh, Cynthia, I know that. And that is why you are my best friend.
We even eat together, and I have spare keys to your room. I also know your phone password.
Cynthia, don't I also know your phone password?
Yes, so. But what about your Momo PIN?
Hey, no way.
Indeed, Akos. Your Momo PIN is your secret. Do not share your PIN for any reason or give your PIN to someone to send cash on your behalf. Davida, never give out your PIN or OTP as a means of claiming a so-called promotional prize one. Your PIN is like your toothbrush. It only belongs to you. Stay alert.
MTN.
New Kivo Hot Pepper Powder. This advert is FDA approved. The ABS, the Asaase Breakfast Show.
to keep going, well, let this be a song that reminds you. There ain't no stopping you. You've got it in you to keep going. It's not over until you say it's over. Because you can rise from behind. Go get it. And this is the Asaase Breakfast Show this Monday morning, 9th of June, 2023. In numbers is 2025. But it's time for us to take you into the governance report. And a man I know ain't gonna be stopped. The unstoppable. A man who's trying. Wilberforce Asari is joining us with the governance report here on the Asaase Breakfast Show. Don't forget, just like Coco and Carlos, you are on the go. And there ain't no stopping you, no matter how you start. You got what it takes to go all the way and make a mark. And the man's ready. Wilberforce, matching. It is well. How are you? Good morning.
It is well, Isha.
It is well indeed. And
I have something to say about you.
Hey, I hope it is nice.
I think that you have radio inside you.
Hey, how?
Like when you are doing radio, I feel radio inside you.
Oh, thank you. That's really nice.
Yes.
That's a nice way to start my week. God bless you. God bless
you.
Well. It is well indeed. How was your weekend? I hope you were able to get some rest. I was listening to you doing mischief on the forum, but that's a conversation for another day.
So issues of forum.
Yes.
Well, yes.
I hope that you guys cook some apisi after the after you checked all the ingredients and talked about the prices. You should have cooked with it too.
I told Amadeku to use it to cook so that she can invite us to come and eat. But she's saying that she's spending so much money on food. If she adds us to his two boys, that means that he's going to go beyond 2,000. He's probably going to go to about 5,000.
Wow. Anyway, well, it was a pretty good show to listen to, and good to have you joining us this morning. So, what's happening in the corridors of power?
Okay, sure. So, let's start this way.
Mm-hmm.
So, you recall that Ken Oforiatta is being listed by the special prosecutor as wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Subsequently, Interpol has also picked up, and all these issues really border on matters of judiciary, matters of crime, matters of prosecution.
Yeah.
But when Interpol picks up something from Ghana, it means that the international media will be invited to join. Now, the international media joining this fray ended up using a certain document, which is called the oral document by the current government, to be the basis of the arguments that they raised against Ken Oforiatta, and for that matter, the previous government. You know that the oral document essentially states that it actually lists a whole list of activities that went on under the Kufuor government, like National Cathedral, the purchase of COVID-19 vaccines, the building of the Bank of Ghana building, the commencement of the Kuala Dam, the hosting of the All Africa Games, some travels by the president using a private jet, some stadium renovations, something they call West Blue scandal, the Ejapa issues, and several other things.
Okay.
And they actually state that totaling about $20 billion was lost to the state.
Wow.
Now, it is on this basis that the international media finds it necessary to write the stories that have been written about the listing of Ken Oforiatta on the list of wanted persons on Interpol I think we will talk a bit more about this because
I think we should, because
kind of painted a very wrong image for the country.
Mm-hmm.
And we probably need to be a bit more talking about it.
We should.
But in the same judiciary,
mm-hmm.
this week we are expecting some 3 cases to be heard. So, for example, the SkyTrain case, if you remember, it involves a former board chair and a former CEO and all that. They are starting trial for causing financial loss to the state. And then the Republic versus Charles Bisu, which is a case instituted by the special prosecutor. And then the case of the Republic versus Kwabena Edubuahi, which is also a case instituted by the Attorney General against the former Signal Bureau boss. So these 3 cases are expected to come off this week, and we'll keep an eye on them. In terms of the executive is dealing with the implementation of the new levy that has been introduced, which is the D levy, known as the Doomsor levy. It's a 1 Ghana cedi levy that has been placed on purchases of fuel.
Mm-hmm.
And before its implementation today, certain interest groups are already flagging the PD process within which the process is being taken through.
Mm-hmm.
They think that there's a need for some 2 weeks window to prepare the transition into taking those taxes by the Ghana Revenue Authority. But the government wanted to start the implementation today. So we see how it goes between the government and these interested parties in this matter. In terms of Parliament, we know that we are expecting the vetting of these 7 persons who have been identified or nominated from the Court of Appeal to be Supreme Court justices. It's something that is in the offing, and we are keeping an eye on it. Apart from that, Parliament has several other things that it is doing, and we are also keeping an eye on those developments. So, Isra, I will yield to you back now,
mm-hmm.
and then hope that we can get to speak a little bit more about this oral issue, the scandals that have been mentioned, and the negative impact it is painting for the country. Interestingly, it's actually led by the Minister for Foreign Affairs, which is also an issue by itself.
Interesting.
So, Isra, please.
I look forward to having you back in the news reviews, so we can jump into this particular matter again. But thank you very much for the governor's report. Bye for now. That was Wilberforce Asare with the governor's report. Let's go back into time. Ghana in Time, Moments in History, the story of Benjamin William Kwate Papafio and Thomas Hutton Mills.
Ghana in Time, Moments in History. On today's episode, we bring you the story of Benjamin William Kwate Papafio, MRCS, and Thomas Hutton Mills. Was born to Chief William Kwate Papafio, also known as Ni Kwate Kojo or Old Papafio, and Momo Omedru, a businesswoman from Gbese Dutch Accra and Amano Krom Ekuapem. He was educated at the CMS Grammar School and Fura Bay College in Freetown, Sierra Leone, before traveling to study in Britain, where he gained a BA degree from Durham University and enrolled as a medical student at St. Bartholomew's Hospital Medical College in 1882. Later, he switched to Edinburgh University and graduated with an MD and MCH, becoming a member of the Royal College of Surgeons in 1886, becoming the first Ghanaian or African to obtain the medical degree MD and the first to practice as an orthodox-trained physician. On his return, he was a medical officer for the Gold Coast Government Service from 1888 until 1905. While running his private practice, he became a member of the Accra Town Council from 1909 to 1912 and was part of the 1911 deputation to London that protested the Forest Bill, along with Nene Sir Emmanuel Mate Kole, KBE, Corner of Manya Krobo, Dr. F.V. Nanka Bruce, Honorable Sir Thomas Hutton Mills, Nana Sir Oforiata, Oman Hene of Achime Buakwa, Nana Amonu, F.J.P. Brown of Cape Coast, and J. Ephraim Casley Hayford, Benjamin helped found the Achimota College. His daughter Mercy became the first Ghanaian headmistress at Cape Coast Government Girls' School, and her only child, Nana Folks Crab Johnson, became the first Ghanaian professor and head of department in anesthesiology, Lagos University Teaching Hospital in a foreign medical institution, and female president of the West African College of Surgeons. Thomas Hatton Mills. Thomas Hatton Mills was born in Jamestown, Accra, the son of Ima Bannerman, the second daughter of Governor James Bannerman, and George Edward Hatton Mills, a Jamestown merchant. He was educated at the Wesleyan School in Accra and Cape Coast, the Wesleyan High School in Freetown, Sierra Leone, Harrow School, and at Cambridge University in the United Kingdom. He worked as a commercial clerk in the office of the Queen's Advocate until he was dismissed for taking part in the protests of September 1886. After that, he worked as chief clerk for his uncle Edward Bannerman, barrister and newspaper proprietor. In 1891, he traveled to study law at the Middle Temple and was called to the bar in 1894. Thomas became active in Gold Coast politics, and in 1898, he was the first African barrister to be elected to the Legislative Council, serving on the council from 1898 to 1904, and again from 1909 to 1919. From 1905 to 1919, he was a member of the Accra Town Council as the main advisor to Ni Kojo Abebio, championing the rights of people in the Alata Quarter of Accra. He became the first president of the National Congress of British West Africa in 1920. Join us same time tomorrow for more interesting facts about Ghana.
ABS, the Asaase Breakfast Show.
You know, I was
reminds us that we are airborne and we're into the news review. So it's Monday morning, and let's get into the news review with the usual. You know, we always bring you the scripture, okay? And it's from the Chronicle newspaper's front page, and it is taken from the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 7. It says, "Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be opened to you." The headlines are as follows. Tree planting and the Tree for Life initiative is a call to action. And this is according to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Ama Kofibwa, who was joined by some students to plant trees. Frema Foundation launches Dignity in Bloom period pad project in the Ashanti region. The Frema in question is Madame Frema Opare, the former Chief of Staff of the Republic. And Zoom Lion sets eyes on Zanzibar after signing a mega contract, or rather mega contracts in Nigeria, Ethiopia, and the DRC. These are some of the headlines on the front page of the Daily Graphic. The Chronicle. I'm going to take you to the Daily Graphic in a moment, but before I take you there, let's check if the man's joined me again. Wilberforce, are you there?
Yes, Isha, I'm here.
Awesome. All right, so just the news center's front page says BOG post 49.46 billion CD loss and a 4.02 billion equity gain in 2024. BOG grows assets by 53% in 2024 to 215 billion. Nurses strike, the patient stranded. Total withdrawal of service starts today. Ghana's future embedded in TVET, as according to the MTN CEO, and Mahama exempts Jubilee House others from ECG bills. Hajj, 7 Ghanaians dead as the number of pilgrims cry for help. On the front page of the Business and Financial Times, liquidity control measures cost the Bank of Ghana in 2024 8.6 billion cedis. Rural Bank's directors undergo training for corporate governance certification, and TDC unveils a 24-hour call center, among others. And Henley and Partners, Grace Arthur wins a Leadership Excellence Award. These are just a number of the headlines, but Wilberforce, let's get into the stories that you have, and then let's go into your, the stories that are making the rounds on the international front.
So, the what we began talking about really had everything to do with this oral report. If you ever saw it, it's a 52-page report. And as part of the report, those who put it together listed 32 issues that they consider as scandal that the country had to deal with during the Akufo-Addo administration. Now, if you check the OSP website, you will see that in listing Kenoforiata as wanted, they mentioned 4 cases. So they mentioned the SML GRA contract, termination of ECG contract, the National Cathedral payment, ambulance procurement, and tax refund account utilization. So these are the 4 issues on the grounds that the special prosecutor is out there in search of Kenoforiata for purposes of questioning. But on the oral document, they list 30 issues. Out of those 30 issues, I've spotted that 3 of the 4 issues that are labeled against Kenoforiata are part of the oral report. But when the international media was reporting on this Kenoforiata listing by Interpol, all of them literally referred to the oral document and the amount stated in the oral document as missing, which is in excess of 20 billion United States dollars. So it would appear that this oral document is informing the international media as to how they report on these issues between the OSP and Keneforiata, and also with Interpol now. And the claims that are being made in some of these reports are making it look like Keneforiata supervised the misappropriation of 20 billion United States dollars when he was in office as finance minister, which literally cannot be true. Again, the issues are such that these claims that are in oral are painting a very wrong picture about the country, because it would appear that for virtually almost everything that the government or the previous government did is being summed up together as everything being corrupt. So, for example, if you look at the fact that there was a contract between, or there was an arrangement, $500 million grant between the Millennium Challenge account and the Electricity Company of Ghana, and that contract was actually cancelled.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was a deal which was cancelled, which never came on, how is it that you come up to say that it amounts to corruption or it amounts to financial loss to the state?
Mm.
But we are
Very
putting
good
these
question.
things out there, yes, and painting a wrong image of our country. And sadly, it is led by the Minister for Foreign Affairs, who is supposed to be selling our country out there, or selling the good about our country out there and attracting resources into the country. He is the one leading the effort and saying that the country is corrupt, people have stolen money, even including contracts that have been cancelled, which never came on. It's quite difficult. And I think that the Minister for Foreign Affairs should take a second look at this approach of doing things. You know, Isha. Anyway, those are my thoughts.
Right. I mean, it's quite an interesting point you raise, because I've seen a document that sort of tries to explain why oral is an important thing for the government to pursue. And as you rightly point out, there are quite a number of things in there that had been listed, from the president's travel to what the banking sector cleanup, the National Cathedral, expenditures that were related to the National Cathedral. There's an ambulance scandal. I mean, these are things that by all means could be investigated, and if people are found culpable, you do the crime, you do the time. But I think for me, it's very disturbing when the necessary, for the lack of better expression, we don't currently have any prima facie on a number of things, and then we're out there internationally. We could be hurting ourselves. The same country that's looking to partner with, private equity and investment from around the world. Hopefully, this will be polished and sanitized so it doesn't hurt us.
Isha, one of the things that I want to say quickly has to do with one of the findings in the oral document, which has to do with luxury presidential private jet travels.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there is anybody in the NDC, even including the Minister for Foreign Affairs, who wants to now, as we speak about private jet travels. Because just 6 months into office, there is a record to show that the president and the vice president have both had to use private jets that does not belong to the state because of the importance and the urgency of using of same. So you may have criticized somebody in the past, but you come into office and you realize that the work of the office in which you are may require that once in a while you may have to use a private jet in order to be able to get from one place to the other in this big world that we live in. So it has been listed on the oral document. But as we speak today, I doubt if there is anybody, including the Minister for Foreign Affairs, who championed this, Okujeto Ablakwa. I doubt if he would ever want to talk about private jet travels, because right under his nose, the vice president had to use the private jet to be able to get into the country after her health checks. So really, what is it still doing in the oral report? Why is it painting the wrong picture out there in the world against the country? What is it for?
Yeah, I guess the other question is whether there's merit in these claims, and whether maybe we ought to be circumspect in how we air our own dirty linen, even if the linen is dirty. That's another thing.
But once in a while, the linen gets dirty.
It
but
does.
You obviously don't have to wash it in public.
True.
You have to wash it in private, so that when you come in public, it looks clean.
Absolutely.
In fact, that is what everybody does. Yes.
So I think there's some circumspection required going forward. I take you to newscenter.com, Mr. Elvis Darko's news center, and a number of stories are making the rounds there. One of the stories is that the court halted on Friday, June 8th, rather. That would be yesterday. Court halts nurses and midwives strike for 10 days. That's the meanwhile the nurses and midwives are hellbent on going on this strike. As a matter of fact, I know somebody who was affected yesterday when they went to the hospital. There were no nurses to help the doctors do their work. The Industrial and Labor Division of the High Court in Accra has halted the 10-day, the interim injunction against the nationwide strike, calling it illegal and ordering its immediate cessation. Now, the injunction, which was granted on Thursday, 5th of June, by Justice Priscilla Dikro Ofori, followed an ex parte application which was filed by the NLC. Now, what this means is that the court has ruled, that the the nurses cannot go on their strike, and has asked them to abandon the strike and resume work without any delay. We're going to find out how this will pan out, because it's a conversation that we need to have in light of the court's, halting of this injunction. What will now remain of the strike? Now, another update from the same source, which has to do with the oil marketing companies, another conversation that we'll be having a little later this morning, is that the OMCs are going to implement the 1 cedi per litre fuel levy from the 16th of June. And I believe this is because there's some technical requirements in calibrating their systems to be able to recognize that 1 cedi per litre, so it can collect on behalf of government that money. Is there any other story that may have caught your eye, Wilberforce?
Well, yes, Aisha. So I'm looking at this paper. I don't know whether you know about it. It's called Daily Gist.
Yeah, we've seen it a few times.
Yes. So that is Fortune Aliba's paper.
Oh, okay, Fortune Aliba.
And it has a series of stories.
Mm-hmm.
It says that visa applicant stranded in Ghana embassy in Washington, D.C. The story comes to the picture of Okudito Ablakwa, who is Minister for Foreign Affairs. You recall that he announced that he had closed the embassy because of a certain scandal that was discovered. I believe that the embassy may have opened by now. And those who are stranded will get served in no time. The other story here, NIB probes NAPO over busy internet, Wi-Fi, and mat sets deals. And the story comes a picture of Matthew Pupu Prepe, who is known as NAPO, and also Dr. Yao Educhum, both of whom have served as ministers for education under the ex-Kufuor administration. There's another story here. Mahama calls bluff of transport operators. Stories on page 2 of the Daily Gist. And I don't know why the president will call the bluff of transport operators, because they are a very important component in the scheme of things. And so I believe that the president would rather would love to judge with them than to call their bluff.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to read the story to know exactly what Daily Chase is talking about. And then lastly, Brian Champon unveils presidential ambitions. Brian Champon is a member of parliament. I believe he's member of parliament for Abetifi.
Yeah, Abetifi.
Yeah, Abetifi. And he has revealed that he wants to be president, and so he's taking steps to want to be president. Okay, so I think that we should also look at AsaseRadio.com.
Indeed.
If we haven't, at the stories there, I see fuel levy rollout pushed to 16th June, following stakeholder pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I see Ghana Chamber of Mines appoints Ken Ashigbe as new CEO.
That's right.
I've heard people talk about it because they think that the chamber is the
appointment is a political appointment.
Yes.
Yeah, they forget
it's
well, they forget that it's actually an institution that's set up by the players in the mining sector.
Yes.
And there are two, appointments. I'm particularly excited about Ken Ashigbe being the CEO, and also extremely excited by Ahmed Nantoma's elevation to COO. Ahmed has worked with the Chamber of Mines for a very long time, has been their spokesperson and head of corporate affairs for a very, very long time, and to see him elevated to Chief Operating Officer, I think is a fantastic development. Both gentlemen have shown great understanding and leadership, and hopefully they can take the Chamber of Mines work to a whole new level. I'm particularly excited because Ken also is the founder, or one of the founders of the media coalition against Galamsey and illegal mining. So if we can get somebody who is passionate about sustainable mining working for the chamber, well, then maybe they can pull resources from all their members and use that to help the fight against Galamsey. What are the stories on?
I agree.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so the other stories here on the front pages of AsaseRadio.com. Uforiata case, Isi must build trust, not tension. That's according to Bernard Orid Donko. He was on the forum last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Israel, your very good friend, and all of us are very good friend, Reverend Dr. Epia Ofori-Boateng, and PhD in theology from South African Seminary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The South African Theological Seminary also, yes. So congratulations to her.
Reverend Dr. Ekwa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting a PhD is not that simple.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I know somebody who has been fighting to get one. Somebody who is very close, and I know the struggles the person went through.
Charlie, degree can now from that PhD. Yeah. A bachelor's no be easy. That but congratulations to Reverend Ekwa.
Yes.
And to have done this very, very great congratulations.
Yeah, and I lastly want to talk about Uforiata case, OSP repeating costly mistakes in high-profile investigations, and that's according to the MP for Menchia. He was also on the forum, and he thinks that there's been a series of investigations done by the OSP, and all of them have resulted in same outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
It appears to him that the OSP is still going the same path and not doing much to do something different. But quickly, I want to comment our man in the Ashanti region, Jonathan Ofori.
I
think he's doing a great job.
That man is a gem.
Yes.
He's a gem.
Yes,
in fact,
I really want to commend him.
We need to bring him to we have to have a conversation with Jonathan on the Asaase Breakfast Show.
Yes.
No, the guy is a gem. I'm yet to find another like him. And when we have that conversation, people will understand what we mean by that. Anyway, let's get to the phone lines quickly. Our first man on the line this morning is Nixon in Tema. Morning, Nixon.
Good morning, my boss.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, and how are you too?
By God's grace, sir, we're all alive and well. What's on your mind today?
Well, Licenciado, this morning, my issue is very simple. There are aspirants who have come in to the fray to tell the team supporters of NPP their mission and vision for the party, and if they get the nod. I would want to plead on each and everyone that they should be circumspect in the messages they put out there. This is an internal election. And just this weekend, myself and some couple of friends were discussing about it, that internal politics is our being as a party. The bickering and the attacks and all those things has been affecting us. For us in Tema East, we suffered seriously in the 2020 elections before the 2024 1-2. And from what we heard of Honorable Kennedy Japan's, commentary over the weekend, I get the understanding that this is where it is also leading us to. And I would want to plead, especially when it comes to religion, we should not play politics with religion. Let's allow the delegates to make a choice as to who we think. And governance is based on what you can do. It's not about where you are coming from. It is what you can do. Your vision. If I accept that this man is good material based on the policies he wants to churn out for us to develop, I would vote for him. I would not look at where he's coming from or the religion that he is to. No. So I want to plead that we should check all these things and not try. Then later on, when we want to reconcile, it will be very difficult.
All right, super. Thank you very much. Next thing, have a good week. Joseph is on the line from Lambusi. Joseph, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for the call. Well, God is gracious, and we're happy to have you. What's on your mind?
Yeah. The sad thing is what Kennedy Japan said yesterday. In fact, the man is destroying MPP party. In fact, he's really destroying MPP party. And it's time for MPP and national executive and the national the next. They should call the man and tell him face to face that what he's doing, he's destroying the party. He doesn't look. He can't want to destroy the party. Look at what NDC is doing. The government is doing currently, and all the country they are talking about. You and your followers are not talking about that one. But you rather go to attack the former flag bearership. Is that how they do politics? You are giving NDC a weapon to fight MPP. So national executive, they should suspend the man or they should uproot him like the way Alan left the party and let us be peace. The man is destroying the MPP party every day in and day out. Because he makes his mind that if he didn't win, MPP should destroy. That's what he's doing. Not that he want to be flag bearer. He knows very well that MPP will not vote for him to lead the party.
Okay.
So the best thing is to destroy the party. So he's doing the bidding of NDC now. Look at what he said yesterday. During 2024, it was your voice and your videos that NDC used to do campaign against the MPP party. And you came out and said MPP people to forgive you. That whatever you said, you did to the party, everybody to forgive you.
Okay, Joseph.
And yesterday, look at what you were saying in the public.
Yeah, well, thank you for making the point.
He's disgracing the party. So they to sack him or they to suspend him so that we will be rest and then we will not have anybody called Kennedy Japan disturb our peace every day in and day out.
Thank you for your thoughts, Joseph. Have a good day. Bible is on the line. Good morning, Bible.
Good morning to you. Good morning to your listeners.
Thank you very much for calling in, Bible, and talk to us.
Yeah, I've heard Brian Achampon is coming in.
Well, hello? Yeah, well, he says he's conducting an exploratory...
It's a good material, but he should be patient and will bring Baumia. After Baumia, he's the one in line. Because, you see, as for Kennedy Japan, I've said it several times, this man is a cancer to MPP. This man will not leave MPP. This man is not doing good to MPP. That is how cancer behaves. So this type of person, and you want to lead the party. As my brother said, this man knows that he can never lead the party. So he just wants to destroy the party. And I don't know why our executives, our national executives are just sitting aloof, watching this man open his mouth and just say anything. This is the man who always opens the mouth and flies follows. because there is nothing sweet coming from the mouth. Why? And we look at the things that are going on. Okujato high renting private jet for the president. Look at the Galamsey issue. Look at the corruption that is going on, the big things they are buying. Look at all these things are there. The Women's Bank they promise is there. The 24 hours economy, all these issues, we could tackle them. But if we just get up one problem to the other, we didn't execute. Why is all this thing going on? And you see NDC and their hypocrites. Look, don't expect them to change. NDC, don't they were doing campaign. John Dramani Mama said it. The point is there, now they throw up a phone. Now the beer up for you amount. And Oposwa said, if you don't contribute, you will not chop. So they are not there to work. All the appointees, John Dramani Mahama gave them the position to harvest what they sowed in the NDC. That is simple. So they will not do anything better. That is why I'm asking the party that, look, let us all come together, rally behind His Excellency Dr. Bawumia. We can win the 2028 elections. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bible. And still in the northern region, Lord Jeff is on the line. Good morning, Lord Jeff.
Hey, sure, how are you?
Very well, thank you, my brother. Good to hear from you.
Oh, nice also hear your fantastic brofo. Mr. Shadow, my colleagues have already stated it. It will be political suicidal if the new patriotic party should drop Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia and they'll go in for Honorable Kennedy Ajapon. He's talking as if MPP has not helped him. What is he talking about? This man is talking as if the new patriotic party has not helped him. A seat that you have held for 20-something years, we've lost that particular seat. For God's sake, we've lost it. Come and tell the party why you lost that particular seat. Is it a sabotage? Just because you want to achieve your presidential ambition. That is how the way you should behave. Come on. Look, and we are watching, especially those of us from this part of the country, we are watching. Initially, Mr. Inshado, the new patriotic party was thinking how to be an account-dominated party. His Excellency, the former Vice President, has broken that particular chain. What is going to be our campaign message? It should unlikely event that Dr. Bawumia should not win this particular contest. Mr. Inshado, we have been communicating this party in this part of the report more than 2 decades now. We know what NDC can do for us. Look, Mr. Nixon has already said it. The enmity between MPP and NDC is grievous MPP and is grievous for the MPP and NDC. So we are making a passionate appeal. I'm a delegate myself to every aspirant. I've been saying it. Every aspirant who involves himself in character assassination, insult and massacre has no message. So Honorable Kennedy Ajapon should give us a break. And look, Mr. Inshado, it's not the way almost all that is how he's supported in this thing. That is how they are talking. We are begging him. Look, it doesn't mean that, look, he should just tell us why he lost Asin Central as the MP for 20-something years. Was it a sabotage to sabotage Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia? Look, the voice of the people is the voice of God.
Okay.
Mr. Inshadu, do your own checks on the ground.
All right. Thank you.
You know very well that the most influential person in MPP country is the vice president. Alpha is a fine gentleman. It would have been a nice pair if Dr. Champon should partner even Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. It's a nice pair.
All right.
But the time is not for Brian to come right now.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Just a quick correction. Kennedy Japan did not contest Asin Central in the last elections. Mind you, he had stepped down to pursue his dream of becoming the flag bearer. Final call is Joshua and Tamale. Joshua, apologies for keeping you waiting. What's on your mind? We've got 30 seconds.
Well, good morning, Michelle. Good morning to all your cherished listeners. I hope Wilberforce is still on the line. I want to appeal to him to improve upon the jail report, because this is not the jail report we've been listening to the whole of last year, and some of us started listening to the jail. This is a program where Wilberforce will tell us at 10 o'clock the vice president will be at Kumasi, and at 2 o'clock the president will be at Kama. The schedule for the presidency is always outlined. during his reports during the NPP era. But this time round, the judge reported, especially on the executive, Wilberforce was able to tell us where the president is. He's scheduled for the day. And the vice president is scheduled for the day. That's all we're listening to those days. So his reportage, his covering of the executive is very abysmal. That's the verdict from the people of Ghana, and we need to improve upon his reportage. It's not like he's reporting. He's not telling us the schedule of the president.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the feedback, Joshua.
That is our concern. You need to work on that. It's like we're having comprehensive report those days.
Joshua.
Okay, so now
Joshua, you've actually spent Joshua, I'm giving you 15 seconds to wrap up, okay? Because we have to move on. You spent quite a bit of time on your feedback, which is very important to us. We appreciate it. We'll work on it. But you have 15 seconds.
So please, I beg to differ with you when you say that we are painting a bad image of our country because somebody is alleged to have committed a crime. Come and answer to the questions that you are being accused or nobody is saying you are guilty. How is that painting a bad picture of the country outside? I don't get it. Wilberforce, please, you guys need to sit up and be neutral and do your analysis.
Joshua, let me just make a quick correction, okay? I think if you listen very carefully, Wilberforce was not talking about there are stories that have been carried by international platforms, and they are pinning all sorts of things that has nothing to do with the former Minister of Finance on him. And it speaks about our country. That's the point Wilberforce raises, okay? It's not about... Okay, you're entitled. Joshua, I'm not going to engage you any further. We've run out of time. Thank you very much for the call. Thank you for the feedback as well. We appreciate it. You don't have to agree with everything that we say or do. Do have a good day. It's 7:03, and that's how we end the news review. We're taking you straight into our celebrations on the... You're thinking, okay, why are we celebrating Jedubile Ambali this morning? Well, it's not his birthday. The birthday will come, and we'll celebrate it. But this is a man that we all love for his music, for his pursing, and his personality. Good morning, Anchor. What today?
Yeah, good morning, Bob. Who's there?
Nyamiadumu. Yes. It was good seeing you at the club over the weekend, huh?
Yeah, and that both of us are doing the same thing, in the matter of entertainment and all that, and you're taking care of yourself, and the way you do it, you do it real well, and I like that.
Thank you. You're an inspiration to all of us as well, and it's always refreshing when we get to talk. But this morning, you can imagine my confusion when I woke up to a text message, which didn't read nice. And the person wanted to know whether what they had heard somewhere was true, that sadly he had passed away. But of course, Intum Transamado, Enemen Kasa radio right now. Anna.
Yeah, just apart from you, some other friends had also called, in connection with, the verification of this, But, being our Akan cultural society, they say that when it happens like that, it means that you're going to live for long. So, I don't know how it was manufactured, and I don't know how, if it's a mix-up between me and the Emperor, Mike Egan, I don't know. So, this is to let the public know that Jedubile Ambali is alive and kicking, because I have a tour coming.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're going to leave you on the 25th, and I'm taking the second B music to America, see what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, we certainly will be touching base with you while you're on tour to get updates on how it's going. I'm really looking forward to this. And it's something we talked about some time ago. And, in your young age, in your 70s, going on a tour for months, it's a remarkable thing. And we pray that God protect you and take you and bring you back.
Yeah, because, if you do something that, from your heart, and it's good, it stays for a long time. Because sometimes if I look back at some of the music that I did back in the 70s, Mia Brenton's Gets Manu, that's 86, and Ragam doing them 96, but if I take a look at the reaction of the people, since this music came out, it's always fresh for them.
Indeed.
And that's why if you do a good thing, it stays for a long time.
Indeed.
Anyway, that's the bottom line.
And that good thing you've done and continue to do will stay a long time, and you, I believe, will stay a long time too. Thank you so much for talking to us this morning.
Because you were talking about, at this time of my age, 78, and I'm still being invited to go and perform. I've Europe, saturated Europe and things like that, but this time it's the main entertainment center that we're going.
Fantastic.
So,
Jedu
take the kind of flag along.
Ambuli. Wonderful talking to you. Yabakasa, Eche. Aye.
Okay, thank you, and thanks for calling, and all the best.
All right, sir. All the best to you too as well. And that was Jedu Ambuli, quickly celebrating the man. Charlie, Obinyinache.
Oh, yes.
It be so. So the whole story we say while we are here, we get plenty birthdays. So if you're celebrating your birthday today, we wish you a happy birthday. Who's on your list?
Happy birthday to Adu.
Oh, for real?
Yes,
Black Stars coach, head coach. Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to him.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it's also the birthday of Miroslav Klose.
Okay.
Yes, Wesley Schneider. And Teddy Bruschi, that Lengback legend. And then Coco Gauff.
Coco Gauff. So she won the French Open.
Fresh Grand Slam.
And it's a Radinyankopon. Sweet.
Yeah.
Charlie, but that was something over the weekend, eh?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Both winners, both the men came back from a set down. In fact, Carlos came from 2 sets down.
2 sets down.
No. And you see, the 2 sets down, at a point where I think they had played it was 5-3.
Yeah.
And they had to play, I think it was a break.
Okay, a tie break.
A tie break just to be able to get to 5-4. And Charlie.
It was epic.
No. It's one of the best tennis I've ever watched.
Tribute to Yannick Sinner.
Oh,
man.
Wonderful. It was a really good game.
Yes.
Okay, so who else is on that list?
Happy birthday to Rebecca Simeon Okraku. And also Sophia Ebel. Also to Presla Beidu. Happy birthday to you, Presla. And then Kechu Irama Kesi. You're all celebrating your birthdays today. Happy birthday to all of you.
Okay, well, on my list, engineer, DJ, all-round wonderful guy, Sydney Ashon. Happy birthday to you, Sydney. Also to Amma Dadson and Sarah Abba Entua Asamoah, celebrating your birthdays today. Renel Badu, happy birthday to you. Also to Alberta Champong and Ola Ni Anantawia. More blessings and life to you. Also to Justina Tay, happy birthday to you. Jerry Chatro Mode of Atinka, happy birthday to you. And to Kwame Tete, the original Pipiripi, more blessings and life to you. And a childhood friend, Sandra Meku, happy birthday to Nana Kofi Abuaji Kwatinga Isi, and to Felix Ankra. And finally, to belated birthday to Papa Akoto Amwafo. To all our birthday celebrants, we wish you peace of mind, long life, good health, and plenty money.
Get the money, they will make we sit up.
When they have the money there, we will see. Actually, Jerry Chatromode is with Angel Group, not Angel. You see, sir, Angel near you. I said, I say, oh baby, I think they're in the same area like that. So I confused the two. But yeah, he's with Angel. Well, Sports Now is up next with the ruler. And he'll tell you all the wonderful stories about Carlos Alcaraz and Coco Gauff. Somehow, both winners have their names starting with C. I don't know. There's something in there. So maybe Arsenal needs to change the coach and find someone or we should call him Carlos Mikel Arteta, and we might just win the league.
Let's sports now on the Asaase Breakfast Show is live here on Asaase 99.5 in Accra, 99.7 in Tamale, 100.3 in Cape Coast, and 98.5 in Kumasi. Coming up this morning, a historic Ghana Premier League title heads to BBN. Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal snatch Nations League glory in Munich as Robert Lewandowski quits the Poland national team. In tennis, Carlos Alcaraz and Coco Gauff claim French Open crowns. And in some transfer news, Man City and Chelsea flexing their muscles. So let's begin from the Ghana Premier League, where BBR Gold Stars are the 2024-25 Ghana Premier League champions. They thumped Accra Lions 4-0 at the Dance Park and watched as title rivals Nations FC crumbled at home. Farouk Amwafo gave Gold Stars the dream start in the 4th minute, and the team never looked back. They finished the season with only one home defeat and the fewest goals conceded at home. Here's a proud coach, Frimpong Manso. Well, bringing that up by in our subsequent bulletins. And for Kotoko, it was heartbreak in Tema, where they lost 3-1 to Vision FC. They led through Emmanuel entry, but were pegged back before the break. Vision FC's Frank Duku backed a late brace to secure the win. Hearts of Oak, they ended their season with a 1-0 win over Samatex. Kunedu Yadom was the difference maker in that. The shock of the weekend was Nations FC falling 2-0 at home to Hearts of Lions, blowing their title hopes. Elsewhere, Midiama lost to Brekum Chelsea, and Dreams FC crushed relegated Legon Cities 4-1. A crucial judicial verdict now hangs over Nations FC's second place finish following the controversial walk-off versus Baseke Holy Stars. There will be more on that story in the coming days. Let's shift attention to Europe now, where Portugal are the Nations League champions once again, beating Spain 5-3 on penalties after a dramatic 2-2 draw. Cristiano Ronaldo scored one, went off injured, and was in tears on the bench as Diego Costa saved Alvaro Morata's penalty. It's Portugal's second title after 2019, and Cristiano Ronaldo had a message for Lamine Yamal, for the media. We'll bring that one to you in our subsequent bulletin. So let's now hear from Cristiano Ronaldo on Lamine Yamal and managing expectations for young stars.
He's been doing things really well. He's in a club that helps him very much, in a national team that helps him very much. It's a very good atmosphere for him to show his qualities that are very big. But what I really ask for him, you to do him, is to let him grow, not to put him under so much pressure, for the good of football, so we can enjoy a talent like this for many years. We need to leave him alone. We need to let him grow his own way and enjoy a talent like this for many years, and that's what I hope. So I would like to take pressure off him, leave him alone, and it's something that the media, that's the way the media can help him develop his career. Leave him alone, because he's got plenty of talent.
So that's Cristiano Ronaldo's expectations, or asking that the media manage expectations of young stars, especially Lamine Yamal. Now, in the third place playoff, Kylian Mbappe notched his 50th international goal and set up another in France's 2-0 win over Germany. Mbappe says he's not bitter about PSG's Champions League success.
I was very happy because they deserve it. And as I said earlier, they knew so many years where it was hard. I was part of it. I've gone through all the steps of the Champions League, apart from the victory, so I know full well what I'm talking about. And on the field, it was the best team on the field. 5-0 in the finals. I don't remember a final, neither in the Champions League nor in the World Cup, with a final. So this is something that they deserve. Now, this is the team that needs to be beaten, and there's the...
So that's Kylian Mbappe there. Now, let's do some international soccer or shocker here, because Poland's all-time scorer Robert Lewandowski has quit the national team, citing a breakdown in trust with head coach Michael Probers. Now, Lewandowski said, and I quote, "As long as he's in charge, I'm not available," unquote. So huge news as Poland prepares for World Cup qualifiers. Also in Italy, their head coach Luciano Spalletti has confirmed he will step down after their 3-0 loss to Norway. And in tennis, the men's final, Carlos Alcaraz pulled off one of the greatest comebacks in Grand Slam history, beating Yannick Sinner in 5 sets after 7-3 match points. It took 5 hours, 29 minutes, the longest French Open final ever. Alcaraz spoke on the respect he has for Yannick Sinner.
I want to start with Yannick. It is amazing the level you have. Congratulations for an amazing 2 weeks, amazing tournament. To you, to your team, I know the hard work you're putting every day. It is huge. Honestly, I know how hard you're chasing this tournament, or every tournament. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be champion, not once but many times. It's a privilege to share the court with you in every tournament, making history with you.
So that's Yannick Sinner there. In the women's final, Coco Gauff outlasted world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka 6-7, 6-2, 6-4 to win her first French Open title and a second career Grand Slam. The 20-year-old American is now a serious force in women's tennis. Let's do some transfer roundup here. And Ryan Aït-Nouri is headed to Manchester City for £36.3 million after completing his medical. Chelsea's €35 million bid for Jeben Gatens has been rejected by Dortmund, and we understand talks are ongoing. Joe Bellingham to Dortmund in a record deal for Sunderland. Newcastle are eyeing Elanga and João Pedro amid Isak transfer rumours. Liverpool are back in talks for Florent Wirtz's new £113 million bid tabled, and Alisson says he's open to returning to Brazil in the future. Now, in boxing, finally, unified heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk made headlines off the ring, inviting Donald Trump to live in war-torn Ukraine for a week. A bold statement from the Ukrainian warrior. Let's hear from him.
I advise American President Donald Trump go to Ukraine and leave my house 1 week, only 1 week. Leave, please, Ukraine. Watch what's going on every night. Bomb fly above my house. Bomb, rocket, Shahed every night. People who not live in Ukraine, who not support Ukraine, who not watch what's going on, not understand what's going on. Just.
So that's unified heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk there. And finally, former Premier League referee Uriah Rennie has died at 65. A trailblazer and the league's first black referee. He officiated over 175 Premier League games between 1997 and 2008. That concludes sports here on the Asaase Breakfast Show here on Asaase 99.5 in Accra, 99.7 in Tamale, 100.3 in Cape Coast, and 98.5 in Kumasi. My name is Ekoe Silfi. For more sports, log on to asaseradio.com. Good morning.
When I get home and want something quick to chop, everything there inside, groundnut milk and sugar. I only need some water, so kiss me dizzy, oh, give carry make you for your.
Monday morning, it's the 9th day of June 2023. So, well, the government has instituted or passed a bill that charges a 1 Ghana cedi per litre on fuel purchases. Now, the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies has issued a bold a statement that one could call defiant as a response to Ghana Revenue Authority's request for the rollout of the new energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy. It's slated to take effect today, but it seems it's not going to happen. We will now speak with the head of communications at the Ministry of Energy, Richmond Roxing, who joins us on the line. Richmond, good morning and thank you very much for your time.
Good morning to you, and thank you very much for the opportunity.
Now, post the passage of the bill, I believe that the president has assented to the bill and now can take effect. The COMAC, Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, in a conversation last week, Thursday, indicated that there was no stakeholder engagement ahead of the passage of the bill. Is that the truth?
Thank you very much for the opportunity once again, and good morning to your cherished listeners. In fact, there have been several discussions and stakeholder consultations by government leading to the introduction of this bill. This is a major policy decision, and there's no way the government led by the president and the sector led by Honorable John Jidapo, that's the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, together with the Ministry of Finance, will roll this out without engaging stakeholders. I understand that concerns, when it comes to payment of taxes, the engagements are still ongoing, even post passage of the amended act. We are still engaging. The minister is still engaging with stakeholders. Even yesterday, which is a Sunday, throughout the whole weekend, the holiday and the Sunday, engagement has still been held, and that is why the implementation date, which was supposed to be today, has been deferred to 16th of June. So yes, engagements will probably start engagement prior to the passage of the bill, and engagements are still ongoing as we speak to address all concerns of stakeholders.
Now, the question on my mind at this point is that what sorts of discussions were had, and what was the roadmap to implementation once the bill was passed? Seeing as that there's a deferment of the rollout from today to the 16th.
The reality is that, like I mentioned earlier, the discussion covered the bill, why the need for the bill, the basis for the introduction, the purpose of the bill, how the government arrived at 1 cedi, and what the government intends to do with the money. And some stakeholders were okay with it, others were not. Others raised issues. Others thought that the amount should be reduced. Others thought that it should be increased. Others thought that it should be deferred. So those are the discussions that we had with stakeholders.
Right. Now, the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies issued a statement, and in that statement they made reference to a letter from the ministry indicating, I think it was to GRA, indicating that they were written to on Friday, and the letter was delivered to them on a Sunday. I mean, is this something that bothers you in terms of the mode of communication and the timeliness of the communication?
For me, what is important here is the continuous stakeholder engagement. Yes, because it was a holiday, the chamber did not expect that a letter will be written to them. So they've had concerns with it. But the most important thing is that at this point in time, because of the stakeholder engagement, there's a roadmap that has been agreed. In principle, they've said that they are not opposed to the introduction of the 1 cedi levy.
Mm-hmm.
They only had concerns because it's mid-window. And if it's mid-window, rolling it out may come with its own challenges, which the government accepts. So the most important thing is that we are making progress. The government keeps listening, and the government keeps addressing concerns of stakeholders.
Okay. They claimed in their letter that they had made some practical and necessary demands that they believe will mitigate the impact of the levy on their operations and on the end users. Share with us what the ministry is considering doing.
I didn't get your question.
I said share with us what the ministry intends doing with the 3 practical proposals that were made by COMAC, which they believe would help ease the burden of implementing the levy.
In fact, right, and this goes ahead to confirm that the stakeholder consultations and engagements are still ongoing. On Thursday, the ministry met COMAC. They had 3 proposals with them. What the government has done, or the Ministry of Energy has done, is to further engage the Ministry of Finance, because most of the things that they propose has fiscal implications, but they are mostly financial related. Mm-hmm. So the Ministry of Energy does not have the mandate to carry out those proposals. We can only make recommendations to the Ministry of Finance, and that is what we are doing. In fact, on Thursday, we went through the day with COMAC. We had a meeting in the afternoon, and a very, very good meeting. All the proposals that were tabled, the ministry had practically no objections to them, and they had the assurances of the minister that further engagement with finance will happen, and that at the end of the day, they will get feedback from that.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Richmond Roxing, we're grateful for your time.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Let me use your medium to also say that all stakeholders, any individual group that has concerns, we are sure that the government will address it. This is a difficult but necessary decision, as said by the president. Mm-hmm. We need to salvage the power sector. The power sector is now the heart of our economy. Without electricity, there's no way we can roll out a 24-hour economy. There's no way homes will be able to function properly, businesses as well. So the government is counting on the support of the people of Ghana. That once we made some windfall, if you look at what prices were in January per litre, if you're doing around 17, then now you're doing 11 or 12, some are doing 10. There's a window of about 5 to 6 cedis. And even with the implementation of the 1 CD, definitely prices will be cheaper, far cheaper than what we're purchasing in January. So the government is asking for the support of Ghanaians. We are sure that from time to time a review will be done. The account will be published. The monies, how the monies are being used will be disclosed. And that if there's a need to reduce the levy or even review it at any point in time, the government is committed to doing that.
Okay. Thank you very much. That was the head of communications at the Energy and Green Transition Ministry, Richmond Roxing. Let's talk to Dr. Riversing Opong. He's the CEO of Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, joining us on the line this morning. Dr. Opong, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Very well, thank you, and happy that you're able to join us this morning. The ministry, through the head of communications, has indicated that there has been some stakeholder engagement in light of the passage of the bill. How satisfied are you with the engagement so far?
Yes, you're right. When we received the letter yesterday, and after responding, we had a series of engagement with GRA, the Ministry of Energy, and NPA. And that is why you might have seen our press statement stating that we have agreed after consultation that the pricing window, which starts from next week, should accommodate the new 1 CD. And that's where we are now.
Okay.
So we thank the government for listening to us, and I believe that through stakeholder engagements, all these, I call it errors, wouldn't happen, because we need to make the government understand the implication of implementing a policy or a law like this over the weekend. What that means is that our members who are on cash and carry will need to raise capital yesterday, which is on Sunday, to be able to live today. And no bank was working yesterday. Mm-hmm. And apparently we are also in a new window when we didn't receive any floor price and pricing mechanism from MPA as at even 6 o'clock p.m. yesterday.
Okay.
So how are we going to price at the station today? And everything was probably, for me, for lack of better words, was in a haste. So we had a word with the stakeholders.
So evidently, it seemed that the cart was before the horse. But through dialogue, you seem to have made some progress. What is more important to end users at this point is that in the new pricing window starting a week today, are fuel prices likely to go up?
So it will be very unprofessional and unethical to say that now, because we look at a pricing window and forecast for the next pricing window. So if you give us by Thursday or Friday, we will give you indication of how things will go.
Okay. Wonderful. Is it safe to say that there's calm now since our last conversation on Thursday?
Yes, there's calm now from yesterday's conversation. Members are loading. No member should increase price this week in the name of one city levy. That one is also another caution to oil marketing companies. We are waiting to see how the next pricing window would be before we add that one city. And obviously, let me also mention that it might not necessarily be just one city. It will come with some other operational costs, because if you're going for a loan from a bank, obviously you are going to pay interest. And also those on bondage, you also have to pay for the cost of the bonds. So apparently, we are going to work it out with MPA and also let GRA be aware.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Dr. Opong, we're grateful for the explanation, and we will be paying attention to your announcement later this week.
Welcome. Have a good week.
You too, sir. That was Dr. Riverson Opong. He's the CEO and industry coordinator for the Ghana the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies in Ghana. Well, they did issue a statement. They have since then issued another press statement indicating that they will be rolling out on the 16th. It's indicated by Thursday of this week. We can expect the pricing going into the new window starting a week today to be announced. More conversations coming your way on the Asaase Breakfast Show. Up next, we'll be talking to Nana Kwesi Boakye, our reporter who's on the line from the Ridge Hospital, or the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. We'll also talk to Baba Kamil in the Northern Region. And this is because the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association have decided to go on strike. Now, there has been a number of developments since they initiated this labor action. Now, the indication that they are continuing with the strike in spite of a court ruling that they ought to go back to work is one area that we will be trying to understand. This is the Asaase Breakfast Show. Stay with us. We've got more conversations coming your way in a moment. Check is 7:42. You're listening to the Asaase Breakfast Show. And as indicated earlier, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association has announced a complete withdrawal of its services across the country. I know this also not just from the statement, but from the experience of a very close acquaintance who, having arrived at the hospital yesterday, saw and felt the brunt of this action by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Our man on the ground, Nana Kwesi Boakye, is at the Ghana the Ridge Hospital, which is the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, and I believe he has some updates for us. Nana, good morning.
Good morning, Insha.
Thank you for joining us. What can you report from the Greater Accra Regional Hospital?
So as you rightly said, I'm at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital right now, and it's all about the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association strike. And yeah, upon my arrival, I visited the admission, the main OPD, and then the gynae and antenatal OPD. And I can report for sure that there are no nurses here, even though some nurses are around, but they are not at posts. For the gynae and then antenatal, I had a chance to speak to some of the nursing mothers and pregnant women, And some could report to me that they came around as early as 6, and up to now, they've not seen or heard from any nurse. And they still have the hope that as time goes on during the day, the nurses will show up and then attend to them. At the main OPD, I also had a little bit of interaction with some patients there. And then they mentioned to me, some told me that those I've approached so far didn't want to speak. They didn't want to say anything.
Okay, very well. Thank you very much for that update from the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. That's Nana Kwesi Boachi. He's our man on the ground. We go to the northern region. Baba Camille is on the line. Baba, good morning.
Good morning, Shira.
Thanks for coming through. Where are you at the moment?
Okay, so I am currently at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, Shira.
Okay, and what can you report?
All right. So the strike by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association is actually beginning to bite hard here at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. You remember that the Tamale Teaching Hospital is actually the major referral health facility here in the northern part of the country, and I can even say that some part of Brong Ahafo region and Volta region. Patients are actually referred to this particular facility for treatment. But a visit this morning, I can see that the OPD is deserted, as you say. And last week, I actually picked that an ambulance brought some 2 patients from Karaga district to this particular facility. And we were told that these patients have died. But it will be extremely difficult for me to link the death of these 2 patients to the ongoing strike by the Nurses Association. This is because the health officials here at the Tamale Teaching Hospital are tight-lipped on this particular development. So I can also report that these 2 patients have since been buried in accordance with the Islamic tradition. But this morning, I can see that the OPD, like I indicated, is virtually, deserted. But I spoke to the Northern Regional Chairman of the association, and he told me that they are not backing off at all until all their grievances are addressed.
And this is in spite of the High Court, Labour Division of the High Court, indicating that that they go back to work.
Exactly. So, according to him, that they have actually given, they actually gave indication earlier on that they will be embarking on the strike, and government and other agencies actually look on and they roll out their plans for the strike. They looked on until we got here. So they are saying that until their grievances are actually addressed, it will be difficult for the members to follow that strike.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Baba Kamil, for bringing us that update. In the meantime, we do have the General Secretary of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Dr. David Tinkrang Chum, joining us on Zoom. Good morning, Doc, and thank you very much for making time for us on the Asaase Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my brother, and good morning to your listeners.
Now, be that as your rights under our laws is to embark on a strike as part of your way of driving your bargain and asking for what you're deserving of, should you continue a strike in spite of a judgment from the court?
All right, thank you for the opportunity. We are law-abiding citizens. We can't bring ourselves to contempt of the court. As far as we are concerned, we have not been legally served. If we are served, we will do the needful.
Okay. Now, when you say you were not served, were you in court, or this was an ex parte motion? Did you have representation in court at the time?
No, it was an ex parte motion. Okay. And, as far as we are honest, although I'm not a lawyer, but of course, we know that ex parte motion is supposed to be delivered personally. It must be served on you. It's not a substitute service, which is deemed to have been served in case it's published on the dailies or any other network. So as far as we are concerned, we have not been legally served. And as I said, we are law-abiding citizens. But you see, the unfortunate thing is that the employer hides behind some of these technicalities, and it has become a template for the employer. I mean, they will renege on their responsibility, and if you try to assert your right through any tool that is open to you as a labor union, they will quickly run to court and injunct the process, and they go back to sleep. And this has happened over the years, and I think that the employer will have to avert its mind to what is necessary that will promote industrial harmony instead of trying to bully its way through all the time. Okay. So people are really taking a certain stand on some of these nefarious, if you like, tendencies of the employer.
Okay, so it's clear that you are following your legally approved route to asserting your rights. What demands are you making? What are your issues?
Very simple. We have said it copiously that the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association that has the mandate to negotiate with the employer the conditions of service for nurses and midwives in Ghana did so, I mean, through a preparatory work. I mean, we tried to consult most of our union, all the unions that we knew at the time. We harmonized their inputs and presented it as a proposal for a negotiation. That negotiation concluded in May, and it was signed off to take effect from 1st July 2023. Unfortunately, we think that it has been deviled with undue delay, and the employer doesn't seem to, I don't know whether a bit deliberate in trying not to implement this condition of service. And why we are on this, I just want to let you understand that this is not the first time that we have negotiated for condition of service and it didn't see implementation. 2016, our condition of service never saw implementation. 2020, a chunk of it saw implementation. Aspects of it was not implemented. We did back and forth until that document also expired, all right? And then we had to go for the 2024 negotiations, and we are 1 year into the life of the document. The document is a living document. It has an expiry date and expires in 2 years. We cannot sit down for people to disregard and treat nurses with this level of disdain.
So your issue is to implement the agreed terms of your conditions of service.
Absolutely. So if I'm to answer your question specifically, the conditions of service has been signed and delivered. What we are asking for simply is approval for its implementation. And when that is done, we will come back to do what we know how to do best.
Share with us some details of this condition of service. What's in it?
All right. So ordinarily, I'm not supposed to do that because I don't know your conditions of service either. But of course, where we got into is already in the public domain. As a matter of fact, as I speak with you, my brother, if you are a nurse or a midwife in Ghana and you fall sick, okay, despite the fact that we contribute so much to the national health insurance, let me walk you through this. Assuming that every month you pay 50 Ghana cedis towards national health insurance as a nurse or a midwife. If you annualize it, that is 600 Ghana cedis already. But according to the health insurance, it takes, I think the public renewed their national health insurance per annum at a fee of 27 Ghana cedis. So look at how much even we health workers contribute towards national health insurance, because we pay 2.5% of our basic salary towards the national health insurance, or if you like, the 2.5% of our 80.5 pension that is supposed to be to go into our retirement into national health insurance. And that's annualized on average, even for a junior nurse or a midwife, up to about 600 Ghana cedis towards national health insurance. Yet, when nurses and midwives fall sick in Ghana, they have to pay out of pocket. Okay? I mean, who does that?
This is very alarming. You say nurses have to pay out of pocket?
Absolutely. But anything that falls outside the
have you not enrolled? Are nurses not enrolled on the National Health Insurance Scheme?
Ma'am, National Health Insurance Scheme, I don't know the last time you took your national insurance ID card to the hospital. What? There are so many things that falls outside the remit of the National Health Insurance that people have to pay out of pocket. We work in the hospital and we know what goes on there. All right? What we are saying is that most of the things that when we fall sick, we need to fall on, falls outside the remit of national health insurance. and you need to pay out of pocket. That's number one. So there is an aspect of the condition of service that deals with medical, if you like, insurance. Okay, and that's number one. Number two, we have some few other things. For instance, fuel. Okay, can you imagine that if you are a nurse or a midwife working in Ghana, after first degree, you have to work for more than 8 years after first degree before you can be entitled to fuel in Ghana? That should tell you that below the rank of principal midwifery officer and principal nursing officer, no other nurse or midwife in Ghana receive fuel allowance. There isn't any allowance component apart from the meager salary, the paltry salary that is paid to nurses and midwives in Ghana. It took only us in 2020 to be able to negotiate for these little allowances that we are talking to you about. So the principal nursing officers and above are entitled to some fuel, all right? And it was pegged at the export price of 2022, right? Mm-hmm. Of 2020, yes. And up to today, it has not been revised, but the new condition of service has revised it to the current export price. And it has not been implemented for 1 year. Okay, so they are still on the old export price as we negotiated in 2020. Okay, there is a 5% on-call allowance that we've gotten for all the nurses that don't be implemented. We have something we call 30-month salary, which is supposed to be paid to our members. It is also in there. All right, and rural incentive. You see, these young nurses and midwives are breaking their back. Community health nurses and rural nurses are breaking their back in our villages, falling into galamsey pits and stuff like